So hello everyone, my name is Pritam and welcome to another video. And in this video, we will try to explore the MS journey in USA, especially in UCLA, which is University of California in Los Angeles. So for that, I have invited my junior Arkadeep Bhattacharya because he has done his masters from UCLA this year, and I guess he would be the best person to discuss about all these things, and he will be sharing his experiences. So we will go through all of these things one by one. So without wasting the time, let's start the video. So hi Orko, welcome to my
Hi.
YouTube channel and thank you so much for having the time for the video.
Sure, no
So
problem.
let's start then. Please introduce yourself.
So my name is Arkadeep Bhattacharya, and I am a 2019 graduate from NIT Agartala. I did my bachelor's in chemical engineering, and before that, I completed my 10th from Kolkata and 11th and 12th from New Delhi, and I studied in CBSE and ICSE boards as well before I got the admit to through JEE mains. I got an admission into NIT Agartala, and I came here and joined the chemical engineering department from the start because I was specifically interested in chemistry and mathematics during my high school and 11th and 12th. So I thought this would be a great place to start and explore my interests. And after completing my bachelor's from NIT Agartala, I applied to a lot of universities, and my aim was to pursue a master's primarily in USA and Canada. And I got admits from several universities, but I chose UCLA as my choice, and I came to US in September 2019. And right now, I'm almost close to graduation. I'll be graduating this month. So yeah, so that has been my journey till now. Yeah, and I'll be happy to
Okay.
answer questions. Thank you.
Okay. So the first and foremost question is that why US? Why did you choose USA for your masters rather than other European countries, Australian and New Zealand universities?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, it depends on the exposure you have during your undergrad years. For me, the primary exposure that I had was I got an internship opportunity in Canada, and it was a MyTax internship opportunity, and I took it because I wanted to at least go and see how research and how academics is conducted in North America. And once I went there, I kind of got to know the differences between India and North American, like research and the kind of opportunities you have there. So from there, I started talking to a lot of people. I met a lot of other people who went with me. I talked to professors in NIT Agartala, and also some people I knew who are studying abroad in my relatives and family members. And by making like a having a lot of discussion and having a lot of conversation with a lot of people, I finally chose US because my goal was always to keep an option for looking for a job opportunity and working in R&D in an industry. And in terms of that, US is unparalleled as compared to any other country right now. The amount of opportunities you have, the amount of companies you have, and the opportunities you get as a master's student after graduation uh, is not comparable to any other country. Although it is expensive and it is a risky venture for a lot of people. But for me personally, it was a very tough decision to make. But I chose US because those were my top priorities, and I chose to come here. That's why.
Okay. That's really nice that you have chosen for your own passion. That's really nice. Yeah. So, okay. So before going to USA, means what are the things like GRE, TOEFL? First of all, when in which semester you have decided after the MyTech's internship, or you decided to go for a higher study in a foreign university, right?
Uh, it was always on my mind that I would at least explore the options. Even if I didn't go abroad, I would at least give the GRE or TOEFL. I decided that maybe at the end of second year,
Mm-hmm.
when I went for a internship in IIT Guwahati. I had other internships, another internship as well in industry. So by talking to a lot of people, I like kind of made up my mind that okay, after my bachelor's, I will not go for a job, but I will go for a higher degree.
Okay.
So yeah, and after my tax internship, I almost it was like I almost decided and started preparing right after I came. It was after my third year, at the beginning of my fourth year. So at the end of third year, we go for like the MyTax internship. And when I came back, I started preparing and applying.
Okay. So, means when did you prepare for GRE, and what are the score, and also for TOEFL and the score also? Please share with us.
Okay, yeah. Uh, for GRE, I started preparing. So I came back from Canada in the month of August first week, and that is typically already late for applying specifically to US universities, because the deadlines for applying to US universities are typically
December.
mid-December to
Yeah.
starting of January to some universities.
Yeah.
So it was kind of tight for me, but I also had Canada in mind, but Canada has deadline slightly ahead. It's in January to March the following year. But I always wanted to give GRE because it would keep my options in both countries open. So I gave my GRE. I prepared for it and I gave my GRE in the first week of November, and I scored around exactly. I scored 321.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so that was a good score for me to like consider my choices as for the universities. And I scored out of 321. My quantitative reasoning was 164 out of 170. My verbal reasoning was 157 out of 170, and my analytical writing part was 4 out of 5.
Okay.
4 out of 5. And
Okay.
TOEFL I gave a month before my GRE. So around 15 days before I gave my GRE, I gave my TOEFL around October, middle of October. And my score was 112 out of 120. And individuals, the sections were 30 out of 30 for reading, 26 out of 30 for listening, and 29 out of 30 for writing. Yes.
Okay. So, what are the universities you have applied for in US and Canada?
Yeah. So I had an option of applying in both countries, because I went to MyTax. I had an option to apply to Canadian universities, and I also had like a good scholarship opportunities there from MyTax. And generally, I wanted to pursue a Master of Science, and that is generally fully funded in Canada. So I applied to University of McGill, University of Waterloo, University of Toronto, and McMaster University. Those were the 4 in Canada. And I applied to University of Ohio, Michigan, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, UCLA, and Georgia Tech. So I applied to a total of 8 universities.
Okay. So, you have applied for 8 universities. So, how did you choose those universities? Can you please tell us? Means what are the
Yeah,
things people should go for? People should look into, especially for the juniors. Obviously, I'm asking. So, please tell us about that. Yeah.
yeah, sure. So whenever you're applying, I would say make a decision after you get your GRE and TOEFL scores, because US universities are very strict with GRE and TOEFL scores, and also your GPA. So if your GPA, my GPA was 9.19 out of 10, and that was pretty good. So according, like with all my GRE scores and TOEFL scores, uh, I could apply to tier 1 universities. I like made a pool of universities and I like sectioned them. So I had some tier 1 or dream universities. Then I had tier 2 universities. So my primary goal was only apply to like very good universities which had good research output specifically for the department that I was applying to. So do not look at the whole university ranking. Uh, Look at the specific department and look at the professors who are working in that department and what is the research output also of those professors and the H index and I index of those professors. So in those aspects, these universities were universities, especially in the USA, like Ohio and Michigan, were universities which had professors whose books we read during undergrad. So these people are essentially inventors or pioneers in chemical engineering. Like they have invented stuff and like written books which are studied all over the world. So that was a starting point for me. UCLA itself was a very like my highest choice because it offered a master's with a thesis. So I wanted to keep a component of thesis in my master's. So all my applications were based on universities which provided a research component along with courses.
Okay.
And in Canada, when I went to Canada, I had contacted a few professors. So McGill University, I contacted one professor there, and I was in touch with him. So that was my choice for there. And other ones were also based on what kind of research I wanted to do and what kind of professors I wanted to work with. Those are the decision points.
Okay. So, as we all know that means applying for a MS part, there are several. It's a long-lasting, hectic process, obviously. So, writing
Yeah, sure.
SOPs and choosing LORs. There are various clauses you have to look into, and you have to
Yeah,
choose wisely, right? So,
yes, yes.
I'm not going into for the SOP part because the SOP part obviously depends on the student, depends on the course, depends on the country, depends on the university.
Yeah.
There are various factors. Okay, so it's an individual thing. So let's not go into that part. But I want to go for the LOR section. Means, how did you choose the LORs and how one should choose? Can you please tell us about that?
Yeah, so this is a very important and crucial question. And I would like to suggest that please get letter of recommendation from people who are willing to give you a good feedback or who are willing to say nice things about you. In my case, my department was very small. We had only 60 students overall in our department and only like 12 professors. So we were really close with every professor. Like we had everyone, like we learned their we interacted with them a lot. We attended their classes throughout our 4 years. So don't like, it's not always important that you get like you have to get the recommendation from your HOD. It's not necessary. You have to get a recommendation from people who are willing to say nice things about you. So in my case, uh, all of my recommenders allowed me to create the first draft of recommendation. So I created the first draft of recommendation myself based on what good things I wanted to showcase to the admissions department, and then they reviewed it and then they went over it and corrected it. And other than that, in most of my other uh, applications, an important aspect was that I wanted to have one recommender out of at least three to be a very like person with a good like a high output of research who is like reputed and well known. So with keeping that in mind, I asked my supervisor from Canada in my tax. So when I went to Canada, I like established good relationship with my professor and the people that I worked with, and they also agreed to like support my application. So I would say keep it a balance between people you know at your university who are willing to go write like good things about you, and also some people from like whether you have worked at a university or in a company, get in touch with those people when you are doing your when you're doing your internship, and ask them for a recommendation when you're applying.
So it seems that I would like to say all this thing to our viewers, obviously. So you can see
Yeah,
that how you should plan all these things, right? How he has planned all the things,
yeah,
and it's not like that. You will be thinking that, yeah, I wanna go for masters, and it's the yesterday, and you will go for the masters tomorrow. This not like that. Like, you
yeah,
have to plan the things from at least 2 years or 1 year, at least 1 or 2 years, I guess, so that
yeah,
you could just frame your profile in such a way that you could write a good SOP, and you could apply to different
right,
universities in vibrant courses, I guess.
right.
So Orko, please tell me about that. The what is the toughest part, the SOP or the GRE or the visa? Means what are the things? Means what are the toughest part you faced? I guess, yeah.
I would say if you are doing a master's based research, looking for a research program like a master's, the research component, the toughest part is getting in touch with professors or getting replies from professors.
Okay.
That is a very important part in Canada, especially if you are not in touch with the professor, or if you cannot like personally exchange emails with the professor, you will not get an admit in any university. In US, it's possible to get an admit, but if you are in contact with professors from early on, you can make a more informed decision of like how good is their lab and what kind of work they're doing. So that was uh, that was a tough, very tough like part for me. And other than that, in the application process, uh, for US, the visa application part is very hectic. You have to keep in mind a lot of things. You have to arrange it for a loan. For in my case, I was not like I couldn't like I didn't have enough financial background to completely arrange the whole cost by myself. So I had a loan. So you have to prepare those documents. You have to appear for an interview as well. So you have to prepare for that interview, the US visa, like F1 visa interview. Uh, and other than that, SOP is the third most important part, because you have to write it several times. It's not like you can like write it one day before your
Yeah.
deadline and submit it. You have to make a first draft, and then you have to revise it multiple times. You have to send it to other people to show it to them so that they can
To
give
verify
feedback on it.
also. Yeah.
You have to verify. So in my case, I had a very tight deadline. So I used like some private organization services. I paid a fixed amount of money to them, and I got my SOPs verified. But surprisingly, for UCLA and one other university that I submitted, I didn't have enough time to do that, and I even after that I got my admit like without using those
That means
spending that money.
you have done all these things by your own, and you just applied due to the shorter deadline, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so out of the 8, I got admitted to 4. And out of those 4, UCLA was the one that I wrote my SOP myself. I did not get it verified by this company, but I had
Okay.
revised it multiple times on my own. But all other 4 admits, I got it reviewed by this company. But if you are not confident about your writing skills, if you are not sure that if it's gonna work out, or you can, so every university has a word limit. So if you cannot follow that word limit or specification, then you can uh, use some financial. There are a lot of companies in India who provide these kind of services. So you can look at that. And I'm not going to recommend anything, because like every
Yeah.
company is different, and you have to like verify on your own. So, yeah, you can do that for SOP.
Yeah, if you have a shorter deadline, then you can do that. Otherwise, you can do it by yourself, I guess. Obviously, I will
Yes.
say that every student should have done it by him or herself, because it's the
Right.
thing by which you could grow your own personality, your own writing skills, and various types of things are there which you could upgrade in yourself. Okay, so yeah, so if you do not have any means the shorter deadline, then you can go for by yourself. Okay, so now let's just discuss about the MS curriculum there, means how the things are there, like in India.
Yeah.
what happens that we are just have the we just have two exams, the midterm exams and internal exams in the semester, right? And
Right.
most of the cases, I guess, any means not mandatory, but the by choice, if you want to do any project under any professor, you can do that.
Mhm.
But in USA, as we all know, that it's a different culture. So I want to know the exactly the UCLA culture there. What's the thing?
Right. So at UCLA, specifically for my course, which is chemical engineering, thesis is a compulsory portion. So you cannot choose coursework. So there's not a coursework option for chemical engineering. Uh, so in my case, I already got in touch with my supervisor before coming here, and after coming here, I even after coming here, you have an option of changing supervisors. If you don't like to work with a person, you can go to other professors and ask them if they have a position in the lab. But an important part to remember in the US is that most of the cases for a master's student, you won't get funding for doing your research as a master's student. So it has to come out of your own like a motivation. If you want to do a research, you have to be really interested and motivated. Uh, for me, I was not necessarily interested in research in specific, but I wanted to work in the lab because I was interested in a specific field, which was polymer materials and characterization. And I wanted to work with as many equipments as I can because it would help me get a job. So everything that I did, like decided, I planned a lot from early on. So I knew what kind of job I wanted to get. Uh, and I joined a course or a professor who would allow me to do that kind of work and get that kind of experience from before, like from my first year onwards. So it's always about head start. So you have to have a head start from the beginning, if in order for you to go past all competition that you have. And courses, with regards to the courses, we have 7 courses here, out of which 3 courses are compulsory, which is mass transfer and reaction engineering and thermodynamics. These 3 are compulsory chemical engineering courses, and they are like a lot more difficult than in India. So you have to be prepared for that. The system here is quarter system, so it's not a semester system here. So it's 3 months multiplied by 3. So 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 quarters create one academic year, and there's a summer vacation, and then the cycle repeats itself. Uh, so in these 3 months, you have to do like 2 courses, 2 graduate courses, and at the same time you have to like look for do research or other look for other on-campus opportunities. So that's how it went. And other out of the 7 courses, 3 out of like rest of the 4 out of the 7 are your choice. So you can go to any department and do any kind of course you want, but it has to be a graduate course. It cannot be an undergrad course. So you cannot do like a BTech course or an arts course or history course. You can do it, but it will not count towards your degree. So you can do
Okay.
as many courses as you can. You can do 20 courses, but only 7 will count.
So if you choose an extra course out of your curriculum, out of your domain also, so you have to pay for that course also.
And no, in UCLA, it's not unit based. A lot of universities in US are unit based.
Okay.
Depending on how many courses or how many units you take, you pay
Okay.
as much money. But UCLA takes a fixed amount of money from you, and you can do as many courses as you want.
Okay, that's really nice. Okay, so can you please tell me about the means part-time job opportunity there in the campus, like in Buffalo, sunny Buffalo? There
Yeah,
is an opportunity. Obviously, not only sunny Buffalo, there are various universities which provide part-time jobs in the campus for
yeah,
students itself. So,
yeah.
is there any opportunity like that, or you have to just go outside of the university to get some part-time job? And what is the scenario? I just want to know that.
Yeah. So a very important part to remember is that if you are an F1 student in the US, you can't work outside campus if while you are an F1 student. So you cannot work at a restaurant. You cannot work as a driver, as an Uber driver. You cannot work in any other employment other than something which is related to your degree and while you are doing your course. You can work in the summer vacation while you have to apply for an optional practical training or a curricular practical training, and that has to be approved by your department. And once you have approved it by the department and got your CPT or OPT card, you can work. You can work for a company. You can work for a company for an internship, or you can work as like a kitchen worker or something else. You can do that in the summer. But while you are working while you are doing your courses during the academic year is on, you can only work in the university. You cannot work on any job outside your university. But it depends uh, from course to course basis. But this is the general rule by the US government for international students here.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
guys were staying in outside of the campus or in the hostel?
So I stayed for 1.5 years in UCLA grad housing. So it's university owned housing for graduate students.
Okay.
And I was recommended by the department to get a room there. So it is limited seating, so everyone cannot get it. And so I was recommended by my department, so I got it. But it is in LA specifically, everything is very expensive. So housing is very, very expensive, and honestly, it doesn't make any difference if you stay on campus or off campus. The rate is almost the same
Okay.
in LA. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
as
what's
opposed to
the
other
cost of
states like
living?
yeah.
Cost of living there? Can you?
Yeah, so Los Angeles is very expensive, one of the most expensive, maybe after New York. So UCLA specifically is in the Westwood region, and in this region you pay around 800 to 800 to upward. Like people pay $1,200 to $1,600 a month
Oh,
for a single room or a shared room. So I myself paid $800, and I
only
was
the
sharing a
room
room with
rent
another
is you are
person.
saying that 800 to 100,000
Yes,
dollars.
only the room rent. Yes.
That's really huge.
Yeah, that is a huge amount of money. And on top of that, you have your food and groceries, and
Yeah.
those are roughly around $300 if you are eating non-vegetarian. So for me, it was $1,100 or $2,000 per month
Okay.
for my living expenses, other than the tuition. Yeah.
Okay. So after everything, what you are doing currently?
As in my after my graduation.
No, no, man. It's right now. It's the ending month, right? So, means what's the
Oh,
plan? What
okay.
you are doing? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So right now I'm working on my thesis. So there are only a few days left. I'll be submitting my thesis and I'll be completing my work. And that is the only thing left. I have completed all my courses, and I'm also working as a teaching assistant. So I work as a teaching assistant on campus. Those are the current responsibilities that I have with the universities. Other than that, I'm I'm appearing for interviews and looking for job opportunities and
There is a
planning.
90 days, means I guess deadline, right? You have to get a job within 90 days, I guess, in US.
Yes, yes. So after
Okay.
graduation, you have to get your OPT card, and you can stay in the US for 90 days without any employment. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So, and after that, what's the future plan? Means what do you want to do exactly?
So right now things are looking good. I already have an offer, so I will be joining a company from August. So I'm pretty sure that I'll be joining that company, but I'm also looking for other opportunities. I'm open to other opportunities right now, but right now I have a job lined up, so I'll be mostly joining that company. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, there is no plan for PhD or any other research programs.
Right now, because I already have taken a lot of money from my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and I borrowed some money from my parents, I would like to work uh, for a few years at least
Mm-hmm.
in a job, get myself financially stable, and also this was something that I planned before as a backup plan. So I already applied to a few universities for a PhD, and I had offers for PhD in few other universities
Like.
even before I started applying for my jobs. So if that didn't work out, I would of course go for a PhD. But right now, my first preference is to get a job. Yeah, to
Okay.
work in a company. Yeah.
Okay. Can you please share, like, from which universities you got the PhD?
Yeah, so I applied to Canada, and my thing was that if after my doing my masters, if this is if my job situation doesn't work out, mainly because of the pandemic and the COVID-19 thing, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to take any risks for the future, and that is something which I had made up my mind even before I came to the US. If I don't get a job in the US after my masters, I will go for a PhD, and that will not be in the US. That will be in Canada because it has immigration. It has a lot of immigration, like is very fluid there. You can get a PR very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's fully funded. You don't have to worry about funding. You can stay after graduation. So I had admit from University of Waterloo for a fully funded PhD program. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So many congratulations to you, and obviously all the best for the upcoming
yeah,
days, I guess. And thank you
yeah.
so much for sharing all the wonderful
Thank you,
information and experiences to all of us. And
thank
so
you.
this is the ending part of the video. Okay, so if you wanna get in touch with him, so though there are LinkedIn profile link and Instagram profile link will be in the description, so you can
Yeah,
talk to him, I guess. So he is a very helpful guy, I know. So he must help you, obviously, if you
yeah,
need anything. And so if you really like this video, guys, please hit the like button and let me know through comments below there if you wanna know anything more about MS in USA or finding jobs and anything else. So let me know through comments below there. And if you are new to the channel, obviously, please do hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that every video will be reached you through notification. This much for today, guys. See you on the next video.